So we're back. Real SAT. If you have any questions, please go ahead and email us at either of the email addresses you see. Okay, so anyway, this is a real SAT question. So let's go ahead and let's go right into this. It says, according to U.S. tax policy expert, state taxes are blank other factors when considering an interstate move. Even significant differences in state taxation have almost no effect on most people's decisions, while differences in employment opportunities, housing availability, and climate are strong influences. So again, we have kind of you guys who have watched this before have seen a circular argument. It's going around, it's saying one thing, and it's coming back and doing something else. So, and if you put yourself into this and you look at what you read, what stories are being said, you're going to get confused. Okay, because when I first read this, I'm thinking, oh, U.S. tax policy, the way things are now, in between business, being able to write off more, and people saying they need more breaks. But that's really not what this is about, and even if it is, you need to think about what's going on. Okay, so let's take the first part. And again, this means something down here between choices A, B, C, D are missing. State taxes are blank other factors. So do we want to know if they're consistent with? We want to know if they're representative of, overshadowed by, irrelevant to. Okay, so according to a U.S. tax policy expert, state taxes are blank other factors when considering an interstate move. Even significant differences in state taxation have almost no effect on most people's decisions. Let's look at something that's really important here. What he's saying, no effect. And what has no effect? State taxation. Okay, and then it's about decisions. While differences in employment opportunities, housing availability, and climate are strong influences. So you have to get a flow of this sentence, and this sentence is kind of like state taxes are what? Like a lot of people are going to choose irrelevant. But then if you use the word irrelevant, other factors, meaning you really should have, well, it does say irrelevant to. So irrelevant to other factors. So it's saying there are other factors out there we're considering an interstate move has no effect. That's the one you're going to choose. That's the one most people are going to choose. And let's get into why this is wrong. State taxes are consistent with other factors. That is exactly the opposite of what they're saying. Representative of, think about it, representative of and consistent with are the same. So if this doesn't work, this doesn't work. Here are the two that you're going to look at, and I guarantee you this is the one most people are going to go for, is D, irrelevant to, because it says the opposite. It says there is no effect on most people's decisions. Differences in employment opportunities, housing availability, and climate are strong influences. That's why people move. And it says not because of state taxes at all. Now, let's play devil's advocate. If state taxes were, let's say state taxes were 22%, you had a job that was going to pay you $70,000. I'll go ahead and put $70K. And housing was going to give you like $580,000. Okay, and the climate was like average weather temperature would be about 60 Fahrenheit. If you just think about this logically, this would have some bearing on all of this, because 22% of what you make here is significant, and this isn't a lot considering everything else. Okay? Considering how much employment opportunities in this. So what the author is actually saying is state taxes are considered, but they're overshadowed by. So your answer is C. And the only other way to think about how this works is to say, let's not completely discount what state taxes do. They are overshadowed. It's not that they're not looked about at all. And, your first instinct is to go, well, people only think about employment, housing availability, and climate control. But if you really think, sometimes people think about the state taxes too. If most states were only charging something like 3%, and then you had all these other factors, it would be irrelevant. But like if you live somewhere already and you're stressed out trying to do this, and this is like 15%, you're not going to move. So I guess on some level, the author does want you to think a little bit about how things work and how they're going on. This is a very hard question as far as I'm concerned. It's considered medium because you almost instinctively say they're irrelevant. And they're just not irrelevant. They're overshadowed by. So your answer here is C, and that's the answer on the Real SAT. If you have any questions, we're here at jacobitslearning@gmail.com. Have a good afternoon.